NBA 2K25 is just about a month away now, and you know the closer we get to 2K, the closer we get to Mike Wang, aka Beluba, going absolutely bonkers on Twitter with all the new news. He just started his rollout yesterday. In this video, I'm going over every single thing I can. I got a nice 2 gameplay in the background with my boy B Black, and let's get right into the video. Alright, to start things off, Yimmy LL Kool Aid tweets out to Beluba saying, "Good morning, Mike. Would love to better understand the shot timing profile concept. With the low risk reward, is that confirming whites to go in, but only when mistimed and wide open?" Beluba responds, "With low risk reward, you can still make shots if your timing is slightly off, aka you can make whites, but the bonus for good timing is much smaller. With high, the green window is larger with a bigger bonus, but there's no margin for error if you miss it." So to dumb that down, low risk reward is basically the shot timing we've played on every single 2K pre 2K23. Before 2K23 came out and it was green or miss, there was just a make window, and if you timed your jump shot close to the middle of the make window, there was a high probability, not a 100% chance, that it would turn green, but it could also be white and you miss it, and you could also not even time it in the make window at all and still make it. So basically, low risk reward is just RNG, and high risk reward is green or miss, smaller green window, but if you green it, it goes in. So everything we've used 2K23 and on. So basically with 2K25, you can choose which timing you want to play on. You can either maybe miss your greens, but then also maybe make your whites, or you can have a smaller green window, but make every single shot you time perfectly and miss every single shot that you slightly mistime. Let me know what y'all think of that. Personally, I'm not a fan. I don't like seeing people make whites. Shit makes me mad. I like green or miss, and I've liked it since it came out, but you also have to think about there's a lot of casual 9 to 5 gamers that play this game that just want to hop on the game and have a good time, hit some threes even if they don't know their jumper. So I'm sure that's what Beluba and all the 2K creators are thinking about. What about the 40-year-olds who play the game 1 hour a day, you know? But I don't know, I guess we'll see how that all plays out. On to the next thing, Savon Diamante tweets at Beluba, "How does height factor in a shot contest this year?" And he responds, "Height and interior perimeter rating are much stronger factors in the contest calculations this year." But I would like to preface that by saying Mike Wang has been known to fib just a little bit with his rollout information. Like last year, he said the same thing basically about height mattering a lot more, but the game came out and it didn't really matter that much. So basically what I'm just trying to say is don't believe everything that I'm reading out to you right now. The game can be completely different than what I'm saying to you. At least that's how it's been in the past. But on to the next tweet, Mike Wang tweets out, "You cannot use real player percentage online this year," and that's what we were all expecting because you couldn't use it last year. I don't know if y'all are around for the 2K22 days, but dudes would literally make a 99 three-pointer build, spot up in the corner, throw real player percentage on, and just hit every single three. So like, obviously we don't want that back. But the next information I'm giving y'all is off of Beluba's Discord. He was responding to some people's questions on there. This is for all the layup guides and dunk meter users like slashers and whatnot. Any changes to layup dunk timing this year? Layup timing is optional and disabled by default, but I'd recommend turning it on, just like this year, if you want to gain an advantage as a slasher. Just like shots, those are separate layup timing profile options. Real player percentage, which you can't use online. Low, normal, and high, so you can customize the setting to match your ability. So basically the same exact layup stuff as last year. It didn't really change much, but this is what a big change is coming. Dunk timing is always on for skill dunks, but you can still dunk without using that particular mechanic. The dunk meter logic has also been improved, so instead of the window size being determined just at the start of the dunk, it dynamically adjusts throughout the entire dunk sequence to better reflect defensive impact. So this year, if you go for like a contact dunk on somebody, the only thing that mattered was how they were right in the moment, right when you went for the contact dunk. So they could like jump, get a good contest, but it didn't really matter because when you started it, they were in bad positioning. This year, it's going to change based on how they're reacting the whole time. I don't know how it's really going to work or how we're going to be able to time it because there's a little bit of latency in the game. So if it's like dynamically reacting the whole way through, I'm not really sure how it's going to play out. I hope they do it right because I know that's a big complaint with a lot of people. So shout out my boy Laker fan on that one. I know he's salivating right now reading that information because from day one 2K24, that's all he could talk about was how the dunk meter logic had no logic whatsoever. Like 5'7" point guards could like perfectly defend a 96 drive and dunk slasher if they just stood in the paint and put their hands up. Your dunk meter was non-existent. There was basically no green, and that went for any build, any height. Height didn't matter, wingspan didn't matter. If you were standing in the paint with your hands up, it was going to be a small dunk meter every single time. Mike Wang didn't directly talk about that, so I'm hoping they also mess with that a little bit, but I guess we'll see. But this next bit of information might be the biggest change coming from 2K24 to 2K25. Mike Wang says, "We adjusted the player to court ratio in NBA 2K25 to give players more room to operate. It's improved the flow of the game and allows for certain cuts that would often get jammed up before." So one of the biggest complaints in 2K has been that you can guard two people pretty easily because the court's so small. So if like your teammate on the hash gets beat, you can step from the corner, make sure he can't shoot it, and then you can give back to your guy in the corner. So like there's no pass being made either. So with the bigger court now, you can't guard two people as reliably. You have more ground to cover. You can't just leave your corner, contest a guy on the hash, and perfectly get back to your guy in the corner. You're gonna have to play some defense and pull your shorts up basically. And we've been asking for this since like 2K19, just having a bigger court, more room to operate, so you can actually play one-on-one versus your defender more. You don't have to worry about everybody else the whole time pinching you and stuff. Just makes the game better, raises the skill gap in my opinion. But on to the next thing, and this is for all you dribble heads out there, guys that like to dribble, high ball handle builds. Mike Wang tweets out, "There are two things that dribble heads are going to need to lab on. Many of the moves combos that you put off last year, like the Sham God, are no longer done by branching from a right stick move to a left stick movement. All of those advanced combos have now been moved to the right stick, along with some new stuff." So like this year, there's a lot of moves that you used both your right and left stick for, like momentum crossovers, for example. You had to use both your sticks, but that's all been moved to only your right stick now. That doesn't really affect me as much because I've never been much of like a comp dribbler. I kind of just shoot wide open shots, play some good defense. That's kind of how I play. But for all you dribble heads out there, there's that. Now into the shooting. I know y'all have probably been waiting on this the whole time. Lil Traven tweets out, "How much is your three-point rating going to matter this year? Will it be the same as the past, as in you don't need a high three-pointer if you know your timing?" Mike Wang responds, "The shooting model is very different this year, with shot rating playing a much larger role. You can compensate to some degree if you're really good with shot timing or rhythm shooting, but most people are going to need higher ratings this year to shoot at last year's clip." Now, I'm also going to say again, Mike Wang said the exact same thing last year, and we had people out here with a 63-pointer shooting and greening consistently, so take that with a grain of salt. But if you're going to take everything Mike Wang says with 100% truth, he's saying you're going to need a little bit higher of a three-pointer to shoot consistently, and this year you needed just about, like I say the average player needed about a 83-pointer on the dot to green every shot consistently wide open if they time their shot. So I'd say, to be safe, if you want to shoot at a good percentage, 82 three-pointer and higher is probably what I'd say. But on to the next thing, and this might be the craziest change from one 2K to another. On the Courtside report, it says you added over 9,000 animations. Could you tell us more? We've added over 9,000 new pro play animations to 2K25, bringing the total to around 14,600. From the main gameplay categories, there are 1,500 dribble sequences, 1,100 shots, 1,300 motion sequences, 800 rebounds, 1,000 passes, 434 dunks, 550 blocks, and 1,110 layups that are new to NBA 2K25. And there are plenty more in other miscellaneous areas. But y'all know as much as I know, 99% of players are only going to gravitate towards like 2 or 3 meta dribble moves. So the most important thing with this 9,000 animation additions is that there's at least enough for some variety among players. So there are 2 dribble moves this year that everybody uses out of the 5,000 like total combinations you could use. Everybody uses LeBron James step back and Jamal Murray behind the back. And on top of that, there's only like 2 jumpers people use too. Everybody uses T-Mac jumper to shoot over people and Patty Mills jumper to shoot over people once you hit starter 3. So the most important thing here with all these new animations being added is that some of them are actually good and we can see some variety instead of everybody using the same 3 dribble moves, playing the same. It's also boring. So 9,000 animations is cool, don't get me wrong, but if they're not good, it's just a waste of time basically. They need to be good enough that more people will use them. But now I'm about to just start rapid firing some changes off right here. Mike Wang tweets out, "Rip Whistle. Whistle will not be in 2K25." And that's a W change. Nobody likes Whistle. It just bail people out for going up with bad takes. Scoop layups have been nerfed. I don't know if y'all have went against somebody like spamming scoop layups, but they were kind of broken. They were kind of like better than like even dunking it because you didn't need a lot of space to do it, and they were really easy to green, so they needed a nerf. On to the last change of the video though. Post defense received like kind of a buff. I'm gonna let y'all decide, but to me it looks like a buff. What changes have been made to post defense? Post fades and hooks now use a different set of contest logic than normal shots. The new logic better simulates how shooting out of the post is in real life and puts more of the make versus miss on the shooter's ability to time an inherently more difficult shot. Defenders will still want to get a hand up or jump to contest to make it tougher for the shooter though. So in my opinion, this kind of looks like a post fade buff and a post defense nerf. because it's basically saying when shooting a post fade, the chance to make it is weighed more on the shooter's timing than how good of a contest the defender got. So for all my post scorers out there, according to this at least, as long as you can time your shots pretty good, you're getting a buff, and the defender's guarding you are getting a nerf. So post scorers go crazy, I guess. And with that, man, that's the video. I'll be posting every single change and update that 2K drops about 2K25. So if you want to stay up to date, drop me a sub and be on the lookout for my next video. I hope you all have a good rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching this. It's been Bonnie Man. Peace out.